On DC News Now at 4, a Maryland woman sharing her story after she was sent layoff notices not once, but twice. Why she's frustrated with lawmakers.
Plus, seeing sunshine in the DMV, but it's staying chilly. Meteorologist Damon Matson is tracking the temperatures.
Then working to ensure fair ticket prices in D.C.
Our artists owe quite literally everything to their fans.
The public hearing on what council members and people in the district want to see done.
Big controversy over a proposed convenience store here in Stafford County. Why some neighbors are pushing back against building a Buc-ee's here.
And furloughed federal workers facing weeks of no pay. We're stretching your dollar with expert advice on your financial options.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. The Senate is slated to vote on the House-passed funding bill to reopen the federal government for the 12th time now.
You're looking live at the U.S. Capitol as the lapse in funding stretches into a 4th week.
And yeah, we now know one Democrat, Senator Jeff Merkley, spoke more than 21 hours since taking the floor yesterday evening.
It comes as the blame game continues on both sides of the aisle.
That Republicans continue to refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
And it's just shameful. Democrats keep making history, but they're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
And right now, we're still checking in on those federal workers impacted by this shutdown.
Annalisa, many are facing tough decisions because they're not getting paid.
Yeah, DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live on Capitol Hill. And Daniel, you talked with a woman who was told her position was being eliminated days before this shutdown.
That's right, Annalisa and Mark. She says that she's been in this back and forth battle with the union and the administration over her job. She's been on paid administrative leave, but right now, of course, during the shutdown, she is not being paid, and she says she's prioritizing her health over other bills.
A lot of employees are feeling like, what did they do to deserve it?
Monica Nixon is also feeling that way, given a reduction in force notice, or RIF, after working for the federal government for 18 years, 11 at the Small Business Administration.
Our RIF notice stated that our position was abolished.
On August 22nd, the RIF was rescinded.
Maybe I'll get my job back.
But on September 29th, 2 days before the shutdown, she got RIF'd again with about 45 others.
We couldn't get any type of assistance because of the government shutdown. But only thing we can do is just get the local for the union to get a grievance filed in that short bit of time.
Nixon says she has health problems and several medications to fill. Not easy to handle with no cash flow.
I do have an expense every 90 days, like $500. So I don't have that cost right now. And right now, my medications are due to be filled.
On top of that, she had surgery on Friday requiring new medication. She's tapping into her savings.
My health comes first, and that's something that I have to also make sure that I put on top. And my bills will have to come last at this point.
She says because the SBA got approval from the Office of Personnel Management to start a 30-day RIF, she's not only dealing with the shutdown now, but her job is officially being eliminated next week. Situation that she and several of her colleagues are facing is that they don't have federal IDs because they had to turn them in when they initially got that first RIF notice back in April. So a lot of the assistance programs that are going on right now, like food banks distributing food to federal workers, they require a federal ID, and that's something that she's having to navigate. We're live on Capitol Hill. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
All right, Daniel, thank you. And looking at other impacts, this is a live look at Reagan National Airport where people looking for lost items may be out of luck today. TSA's Lost and Found office is temporarily closed due to this government shutdown. You may now make inquiries for lost items through a link on their website. And for continuing coverage of resources and to see how local officials are responding, you can head to our website right now, dcnewsnow.com.
In Stafford County, Virginia, a man is accused of killing a mortgage company employee. It happened last night On Mountain View Road, police say that they were called by an employee who heard gunshots. They also say that there was a brief standoff with the suspect, 64-year-old Donald Thomas. The victim has been identified as 35-year-old Michael Dodge II. Dodge died at the scene. Thomas faces first-degree murder charges. He's being held without bond.
All right, turning over to our forecast on this Wednesday. Damon, it was beautiful out there despite the chilly temperatures. It's been really nice.
Oh, glad to hear it, because, yeah, I know the chilly air is a little bit tough for some as we are still sort of in that transition phase here heading into late October. We've bounced back and forth this week, no doubt. We had warmer temperatures on Tuesday where we made it up to the 70s, but today, not even close to that. Some locations certainly did see more of a bump. D.C. sitting at 66 right now. We have more of those upper 60s across southern Maryland back into Virginia, south of I-66. But looking off to the north and west, it has not warmed up much at all in places like Martinsburg, Cumberland, where it's still in the 50s. And that is that chillier air certainly having its effect across the region, as there you go. Pretty much all of us are running about 5 to 10 degrees below where our temperatures made it to yesterday. So that chilly air has settled in, and especially given the fact that we have had some breezy winds coming out of the west today and some clouds in the sky, that has also amplified that chill. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, we'll go figure, the winds will start to calm down a bit. The clouds that are out there will start to break up, so we're due for another chilly night ahead. Now, as we progress along through the second half of the week, should we expect more of the same setup? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, new this afternoon, the Centerville High School teacher who accused a social worker of helping students to get abortions in 2021 is now on paid leave. This comes after investigators released a report last week challenging her claims, according to FFXnow.com. That teacher is also now being investigated for, quote, serious professional misconduct. Paid administrative leave is standard protocol for employees being investigated. Attorneys representing Perez have dismissed allegations that she fabricated evidence, and they say she is planning to file a lawsuit against FCPS for defamation.
A man has been arrested after he crashed his car near a Secret Service checkpoint near the White House. It happened last night on 17th and E Street Northwest. He was taken to a nearby hospital for a mental health evaluation.
Well, a D.C. man is being held without bond following last weekend's deadly crash at a birthday party in Bladensburg, Maryland. Police say 66-year-old Sunday Joseph crashed into that party, killing a woman and injuring 13 others, mostly children. We're told he drove his car backwards into a tent set up in front of that house.
And DC News Now's Dave LaValle. He joins us at the Prince George's County Circuit Court, where Joseph made his first court appearance earlier this afternoon. Dave, what new developments have happened during the hearing?
Well, good afternoon to you, Mark and Annalisa. Prosecutors dropped 2 charges against Sunday Joseph, including negligent homicide with a vehicle. He is now charged with 1 felony and 7 misdemeanors. 31-year-old Ashley Gutierrez of D.C. died from her injuries following Saturday night's crash, which also injured 13 others, mostly children. The last update from police had all but one of the children released from the hospital, with 2 adults still being treated. Charging documents say Joseph drove in the wrong direction on Annapolis Road without headlights and taillights. He turned onto 55th Avenue and slammed full speed into a tent that had been set up on the front lawn of a home. The documents say Joseph appeared to be intoxicated to witnesses and ran away from the scene. He surrendered to Bladensburg police Sunday morning as they released him. They arrested him the next day once the charges had been filed. An interpreter had to be brought in for today's hearing as Joseph speaks little English. Prosecutors told us he's from Africa, but not sure which country. Joseph remains held without bond. He is now charged with negligent manslaughter that could send him to prison for up to 10 years if he's convicted, along with a $5,000 fine. Joseph returns to court January 30th in Hyattsville. We're live in Prince George's County. Dave LaValle, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Dave. With DC News Now continues to be your local election headquarters.
Yes, in Virginia, new polling now shows the races for Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General are much more competitive. Democrat Ghazala Hashmi holding a slim 44% to 43% lead over Republican John Reed in that race.
Yeah, for that, and of course, that's the race for Lieutenant Governor and Attorney General. It's appearing that Republican Jason Miyares right now has a 3-point lead over Jay Jones in one of the first polls released since we learned Jones sent violent texts to a former colleague back in 2022.
Jay Jones has had a terrible, terrible October, and that has clearly lost momentum for him and added to Jason Miyares' momentum. That is undoubtedly, I think, going to be the closest race of the night, regardless of which one of them wins.
Well, in the race for governor, Democrat Abigail Spanberger leads Republican Winsome Earle-Sears by 7 points.
Meantime, AI is now working its way onto the debate stage. Tuesday night, John Reed debating an AI version of candidate Ghazala Hashmi. Topics range from education to reproductive rights. Reed saying he, quote, won that debate. We reached out to Hashmi for a comment on that, but so far the campaign saying John Reed's failed use of deep fakes is a desperate move straight out of Donald Trump's playbook. While we appreciate that AI, Ghazala did share her vision, like her commitment to public education and reproductive rights. It's pretty clear Reed only cares about shoddy gimmicks and not governing. Maybe he should focus on voters instead of videos, and hasn't he gotten in enough trouble online already, end quote, is what she said.
All right, some news regarding the Commanders, and it's not good. Quarterback Jaden Daniels has been ruled out of the Monday night game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Daniels suffered a hamstring injury Sunday in the Dallas Cowboys game. This will be the third game that Daniels has missed this season.
You can't make it go type injury, which again is different than playing through pain and toughness, which he showed last year playing through that broken rib. So yeah, it's clearly the smart thing. It's judicious. I like that they're not doing a dance where they're going to pretend that maybe he's trending this way or that way. No. There's no point in that for me.
And Marcus Mariota will get the start for the third time this season. On the year, Mariota has thrown for 462 yards with 3 touchdowns.